Hi there, hope you're doing really well today and that you'll have a nice weekend. As you can tell from the thumbnail, I want to share something today that is a little bit different from, you know, what I usually talk about. You can probably tell that it's a little bit with a heavy heart. I recorded this episode because something happened that I hoped would never happen, and something, that prompted me to do something I hoped I would never have to do. And so we'll talk about this. We'll do our roundup, and I do have some very nice surprise towards the end here. So we'll end on a positive note. But what happened last week? Coach Alina, who has her own YouTube channel, told me that there was a new subscriber called a new volume, who were writing comments that were very different from the typical comments we get. We get a lot of comments from somebody who's struggling with sleep, maybe frustrated, maybe angry, maybe upset, but is here to learn and here to engage with the community, and that's wonderful and that's fine. But these comments were sort of diminishing what other people have seen happen, saying that, oh, there are no true success stories. You can never really get past insomnia, and sort of singling out people, etc., on her channel. And she told me that this person is commenting on your channel too, Daniel. So I did look at comments from this individual, and the tone was different from what we usually have, but initially I didn't find them too far off. So didn't do anything in particular, but I was aware of this. And then yesterday, somebody from the community sent me a message privately on Facebook Messenger and said, "Hey, Daniel, you should really look at this. This could be quite quite disturbing for our community." And I looked, and what I saw did really made me sad, because the person writing these comments were just really depriving people of hope, for no particular reason. We all know that there's nothing but hope. It's possible for anyone who's willing to do some hard work to leave the struggle. But there was someone named Teresa who had literally said in a comment, like, two new volume, like, you're taking away hope from me, that I can never get better. And when I saw that, I was like, no, as much as I really want this to be a place where everybody can share what they're going through and their opinions, and have different viewpoints, etc., we also have to be mindful of other people's feelings, and be mindful of what other people go through. And I really want this to be a place where we can learn from each other, and we can all grow, and we can all find a way to more peace and more peace of mind, and more peaceful sleep. So I saw no other option, but I had to remove new volume. I had to click that button that said hide comments and hide this user from the community. And it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good at all, because part of me feels like it was a way of excluding somebody who I think really was in a tough spot, somebody who really needed more than anyone else maybe to be part of a community and share what they were going through. But I saw another option. So I just want to share that happened. And I want you to know that I really appreciate the input from Alina, from the other person who messaged me. And hopefully this was a random occurrence. I mean, it's only been once in 4 or 5 years. So hopefully it won't happen again. Hopefully I won't have to do that again. And I just want you to know that I'm looking through the comments, and again trying to build a nice, positive, hopeful, inspiring community here. All right, so I want to share that. Now, with that being said, I always appreciate your comments. Let me know what you think about this. And with that said, let's do our roundup here. Okay, so Monday we had Insomnia Insight number 478, where I answered this question I had from a client: is it possible to befriend wakefulness too much? And I think that really the short answer is no. But there's some tricky situations where we can think that we're befriending wakefulness too much. And if that sounds interesting to you, then check out that episode. Tuesday we had Heard Online, where I commented on an interview where Ariana Huffington talks about her book, The Sleep Revolution, and overall, like, her idea of a sleep revolution. And it's so tricky because a lot of people in sort of the wellness sphere really come from a place where they want to help. They want to make life easier for all of us. But the idea she presents here, which is basically saying like, oh, we have to pay attention to the science that says that sleep is so crucial, and that will make us prioritize sleep. I think to me that just creates more struggle than it solves. But I know she's talking about sleep deprivation rather than insomnia. But I share my thoughts in more length in that episode on all this. So definitely, if that's interesting to check it out. Wednesday we had our live Q&A. Coach Alina was a guest, and there are now timestamps in these live Q&A sessions, but I think it makes them so helpful. So do definitely, if you feel like it, check out the latest episode from this Wednesday, and you can just look in the description at the timestamps. And if you find like one topic that interests you, you can click on that one. If none of the interests you, then you know that. But going forward, we'll have timestamps that I think will be really, really valuable. So I'm excited about that. And then yesterday, Thursday, we had talking Insomnia number 116, where Nadia tells her story. She is interviewed by Coach Michelle. And one thing I remember from working with Nadia is that she was in this place of like actually rarely having like a sleepless night or struggling with sleep. She was sleeping like a, normal, like a typical, like fairly typical amount of hours, but was still sort of still afraid that of that, when that sleep at night was going to happen, how she's going to react to it. And an illustration of how, the cure for insomnia is not to sleep, or sleep is not the cure for insomnia. It has more to do with like, leaving the fear rather than sleeping more. So I remember that from her story, and I think there's a lot to learn from Nadia's story. So definitely check it out if that sounds interesting to you. And now finally, I have this nice surprise for you. Several times, I get requests or recommendations of who could be a nice guest for us here, and a name that has come up several times is Drew from the Anxious Truth podcast. I checked out his Instagram account maybe like 2 months ago, and I was like, wow, this is so amazing content. And I sent him a message on Instagram, although he says I don't reply to messages. I did it anyway, and he didn't reply, so no surprise there. But last week, somebody, it was actually Coach Chris, sent me a link to a video where Drew talked about sleep. It was actually a podcast episode, but it was posted on YouTube. So I was listening to it, and I was again like, wow, this is so nice. So I commented on the YouTube video and said, hey, would you like to be a guest on our podcast? And Drew said yes. So Drew from the Anxious Truth will be a guest right here on our channel. So I'm really excited about that. I think he'll bring a lot of insight and clarity when it comes to anxiety, of course, but I know he has so much to say about sleep that resonates so well. So I hope that will be really helpful for us. So that being said, let me know what you think about everything you heard here in this episode, and I wish you a very beautiful, peaceful, happy weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.